Hi, my name is Anna McMillan and I am a certified sleep coach. I own Little Wing Sleep and I am passionate about equipping parents with evidence-based, gentle approaches to sleep. Today I am going to be talking through 4 different bottles as I get asked which bottle is best all the time. Now, these bottles are not sponsored, they are not gifted, nothing. These are 4 bottles that I've tested myself and I wanted to share the pros and the cons with you. Obviously, every baby is different and their mouths are different too. So before I get to comparing them, I want to kind of go over some things that you might be looking for if your bottle is not a good fit. Now, I am not a doctor and I'm not a lactation specialist, so please take this like I'm just not a medical professional. However, these are things that I have learned working with babies through training that have helped identify when a bottle is not a good fit and which ones I prefer. First of all, if you are hearing clicking, so a sound is being like when they are eating, if you're seeing milk dribble out, if they're having trouble latching or flanging their lips, these are all signs, or extra gas, they're very, very gassy or unable to handle the milk coming out, or frustrated because there's not enough milk coming through, then these are signs that feeding isn't going well, and I would recommend talking to a lactation consultant. One thing about lactation consultants that a lot of people don't know is that they also specialize in bottle feeding, not just breastfeeding. So which bottles do I have here? I have the Dr. Brown here, which a lot of people are a big fan of, and I was recommended this bottle. My baby has reflux. It has different parts to it, and we will go over that shortly. So this is the Dr. Brown. Then I have the Nuck All Natural. This one here is one that I have used in the past. This one here is the Boone bottle, and the Boone bottle has the silicone inner. And then we have the Tommy Tippy gas, like the colic version of their bottle. So let's talk through each of these, how I found them, and because my young baby has reflux, quite severe reflux, and so I bought all of these bottles, right? Maybe they'll make a difference. So first of all, the Dr. Brown, it comes with a lot of pieces. And I will say, my husband and I got very annoyed at cleaning all of the pieces. You have to clean them very well to make sure it all works. So you have this inner tube that lets the air come back up to the top of the bottle. And then the valve here, you're putting it inside the glass bottle. There are some plastic versions, but the glass is really nice. And then the lid just twists on like so. What I did like about this bottle was the glass bottle and that it was very easy to hold and to feed. The problem that I do not like about this one is that it has a very shallow nipple. This doesn't really represent a mother's breast at all because it is very long and very narrow, so then it was really hard to get a good latch on it. We ended up buying multiple nipples on it. It just wasn't a good fit. However, I do find that the top of it is nice and malleable, like a human nipple would be. And so that was really good because it was able to, once it was in, it's the lower part that has the narrower latch, which didn't fit as well. But yes, I love the glass, but I find that it's hard to wash. Then I have the Nuck bottle. This is the Simply Natural set. It has a kind of like a pointed, curved nipple on the end of the bottle. The plastic on it is very malleable, not as malleable as the Dr. Brown's. It is more firm. However, it does have that more nipple resemblance there, and it has some movement to it, which is really nice. This is easy to clean, which is fantastic, and easy to put together. The one thing I will say that gets a little frustrating about this bottle is that you have to have the air filter at the top when you're feeding. And this helps point where that's going to go into the baby's mouth. So that's one thing when in-laws or someone was feeding the baby, this hole's gotta be at the top, the hole's gotta be at the top. This one here is the Boon, and I tried this one. This is actually my favorite bottle out of all of them. I will say, I will rate them afterwards and why. That it has the silicone inner and you have the case. You can buy replacement silicone inners, or if you just want multiple of them and then have the harder pieces, so that then you're not doing as much washing. It's fantastic. And then we have the nipple, which has that wider base, and it is quite malleable. Dr. Brown's definitely the most malleable so far out of like all of them, I would say. The difference with this one is that when you lock it in place, there's actually no airflow hole, unlike the rest of them that have an air filter, right? The silicone collapses inside the bottle as the milk comes out. This means that there is no air needing to exchange through the mouth to get back into the bottle. I found it significantly helped with reflux. The problem being was that their size 3 nipples were actually very hard to find. And so that was another piece. I did see online a tip that changed the game on this one, was when you put the silicone inner in, you have to make sure that it has clicked onto the plastic base all the way around. Otherwise, it will leak. And you can really tell if you haven't done it properly, because you can just tip it like that and you'll see a couple of drops pretty quick. So, but it did help with reflux. This here is the Tommy Tippy one. We tried this one for a little bit. What I will say is it has that wider base, but the neck on it is quite stiff and long. So it didn't give a great latch for a baby who needs as much help as she could get. However, it does have the reflux air piece in here. It is pretty obvious how it fits together. However, this is actually more pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces than your Dr. Brown. So this is more washing, which to me, washing matters. My husband got very frustrated at this piece. However, it is helpful because the air goes out and then the silicone joins back together, and it's like a valve, and it doesn't let the air back in up through the bottle. So that was a really great piece of it. However, wasn't the bottle for us. Didn't reduce colic and reflux as much as I had hoped. So if I was to rate which bottles helped with colic and reflux and gave the best latch out of these 4 bottles, it would be the Boon would be number 1, then it would be the Nuck, then it would be Dr. Brown, and then it would be Tommy Tippy. I think the Dr. Brown would have been better if we had ones that had a bit of a wider kind of base to the nipple. However, what I found is that it just didn't latch well enough. There's a lot of mouth work to close around the nipple, which is not natural. And so that would be my rating through all of these. I hope that is helpful on your parenting journey. As you're bottle feeding, I have done breastfeeding and bottle feeding. And the important thing is that you embrace this time with your child and that you're feeding them and giving them the best opportunity to start. So how do you tell if a bottle is actually affecting how your baby is sleeping? A hungry baby will not sleep. You're going to experience much more of a high-pitched, persistent cry, and they're going to really gulp, gulp, gulp when you offer the bottle or the breast. Whereas if they're using it for soothing, you're going to see more of a passive suck, so more jittering under here. And then as well, if you're finding that your baby is really gassy, so they are crying when you put them down to go to sleep and you pick them up and they do a really big burp, that can be a sign of either we haven't burped well enough after the bottle, or the bottle is not separated to go before bedtime enough, or that your baby is taking in too much gas when it comes to drinking, and so we need to look at some other options. As I mentioned previously, we want to listen for those sounds. Are they getting lots of air and are they having dribbling? Are we hearing clicking sounds? Are they fussy at the bottle? But when it comes to sleep, when they are waking up constantly, often we're finding that we're having snack feedings, and so we need to focus on how can we extend sleep in a healthy way while prioritizing feeding. Having healthy feeding and healthy sleep at the same time, that can happen together. It doesn't need to be one or the other.
Have people in your life been telling you, you'll never sleep again? Are you starting to stress about how life is going to change with a baby or adding an additional baby? I've been there. And mama, it's time to cheers your new best friend, Little Wink Sleep. Our Nurturing Newborns program gently and gradually lays the foundation for sleep in a way that you're able to manage and understand. We use a science-based approach that fosters healthy attachment. You'll be able to let go of the stress of newborn sleep and enjoy this stage, knowing your baby is set up with the right skills. Nurturing Newborn Sleep includes all our insider coaching strategies, taking you step by step, troubleshooting along the way, as well as